Don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. I'm glad that I did it. I wouldn't do it again though. You know what I mean? It is a very disturbing part to play, thinking about what this man does. And you know, and King's got a wonderful way of just making it intimate and making it close to us, that we can understand it and believe it and imagine, well, what would you do? Or would you keep going now? You cross the thing, then you just put the shovel in, then you just keep digging, you open it up, and you know, it's just, there's an immediacy there which he seems to make us all lean into, that we find ourselves in the middle of this horror. I was out of my mind for most of it. After a while, you're in such a tunnel, you're not really. But there was a moment when I was digging up Ellie, and it really occurred to me that I was in a real graveyard, an old graveyard in northern Montreal. I was going, well, we couldn't find an empty field to do this and plant some fake ones? I mean, there's graves around me everywhere here. It felt very strange all of a sudden. I wanted to get out and I couldn't without help. I've long been a Stephen King fan, and Wick Godfrey, the producer, studio boss at Paramount, was the producer on the Damien Chazelle film First Man, which I'd done. And it was his first film when he'd taken over at Paramount. And he said, read it. Because, you know, there's a bit of reticence, it's been made, it's a famous book, you think, oh, you know, but the script was then, you know, the script really delivered, I thought. I love what they'd done with it, and I thought, you know what? Louis Creed, I think I can do that.
It's okay now. Are you back?
Back from where?
And the book is wonderful. I mean, I kept listening to the book after reading it, because you know, the descriptive patterns of Lewis's inner monologue of when he's going through the woods or when he's in the cemetery that night is so visceral. It's about our first, you know, it gives you that, our first touch of death and understanding of, you know, life is not finite, is with our pets. And it's always tricky to adapt such a well-written novel into something that's got to work in the cinema. But I thought, you know, it grounded it in reality. The big change, which is, you know, without being a spoiler because it's in the ads, is Ellie is the main protagonist instead of Gage. So, you know, I mean, King's book is so disturbing and frightening because it's based in reality. It's close, even though there's an absurd jump about things coming back, it's very close to the bone, and we can feel it, you know, loss of a child and the need, you know, what we'd do if we could. You know, it's a great meditation on being human. You know, on what we are as people and what we are as a family and what these things mean to us and the depths we would go to. You know, there's even a bit of the old Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. You know, you build the monster and the monster comes back, and it's it's your daughter but different. I mean, it's one thing to think, you know, what if you could bring your daughter back? Would you? But then the other question for Lewis, I always thought, was he knows that this place brings them back. So what kind of parent is he if he doesn't try?
Those woods belong to something else.
It took a lot of work to find that ending by everybody involved, and I thought it's honest to the, you know, it's honest in a way to the book and to what King initially meant, but also brings, you know, an explosion of, I don't know, cathartic relief to the audience. I mean, you know, when that ending before that moment happens, you know, you see what happens, you know, to the other. So you can hear audiences exploding in the cinema, just going, oh my God, and then that end comes in, and they're just like, oh my, you know, it's a wonderful, visceral way, and, you know, and I was very proud that as a film we went there in A, the darkness, and B, in making it work for cinema. You know, because you're not sitting there reading it on your own in the dark, you're sitting there watching it hopefully with hundreds of people, and it becomes a big community experience. The ending is wonderful though, it gets you, it just kind of seeps in, doesn't it? How do you mean, you feel it, it's like it's full on, isn't it? You release emotions. I think that's why good horror works in the cinema still. Like, big action is something you should watch with other people.